The red band on the hull of every large vessel is not tradition, not aesthetics, not a navigation marker. It is a biochemical defense system concealed beneath 300 micrometers of polymer, thinner than 3 sheets of paper. Why red? Because the primary biocide is copper oxide, Cu₂O. It is a crystal that is red by nature. Change the biocide, the color changes. This is not a designer's choice. This is chemistry. Below the waterline, a vessel does not encounter water. It encounters biological colonization, algae, bryozoans, mollusks, barnacles. The cumulative mass of fouling on an unprotected hull can reach 150 kilograms per square meter. Hydrodynamic resistance increases nonlinearly. A light biofilm, the thickness of a sheet of paper, raises fuel consumption by 10 to 15%. Heavy fouling raises it by 30 to 40%. The anti-fouling protection system is a multi-layer composite. Layer 1, primer, binds paint to steel, protects against electrochemical corrosion. Layer 2, anti-corrosion barrier, epoxy thickness 150 to 250 micrometers. Layer 3, anti-fouling coating, matrix with a biocide core 200 to 400 micrometers. Modern paints are dominated by copper oxide, Cu₂O. Its share in the formulation, 15 to 40% by mass. In high-performance formulations, it reaches 50%. The mechanism is simple. In seawater, Cu₂O slowly degrades, releasing copper ions. These ions are toxic to fouling organisms. They disrupt enzymes and membranes. Maximum efficacy against barnacles and bryozoans, moderate against biofilm, weak against green algae. Copper oxide does not kill everything, so organic cobiocides are added, substances that kill what copper misses. DCOIT degrades in seawater within hours, does not accumulate. Zinc pyrithione works against diatom algae. Trelopyrrole, low toxicity to fish and mammals, but the simple leaching of poison from paint is inefficient. Early systems based on rosin produced a spike in the first days, then a steep decline. The paint was exhausted in 18 to 24 months. The solution is self-polishing. In modern paints, the core is woven into a polymer network. Seawater degrades the top layer of the network, releasing the core. The vessel moves, hydrodynamic forces wash away the degraded layer. Beneath it, fresh core. The paint renews itself. The rate of this process, 2 to 10 micrometers per month. This is an engineering constant calibrated for a service life of 3–5 years. Technology comparison, old rosin-based, thick degraded layer. Lifespan 18 to 24 months, performance drops to 55 to 65% by year 3. Self-polishing, thin degraded layer, lifespan 3 to 5 years, performance 75 to 85% at year 3. The cost of error is measured in fuel, time, and ecological catastrophe for the Arleigh-Burke-class destroyer. DDG-51. Dense slime on the hull increases fuel consumption by 10.3%, that is plus $1.15 million per ship per year. With hard fouling, the increase is 20.4%, or $203 million per year. For the entire DDG-51 class, 62 ships, cumulative biofouling costs are $56 million per year. Over 15 years, approximately $1 billion, 15-year costs per ship under the article's scenarios. Current U.S. Navy maintenance practice, $22.7 million. Neglected fouling, $43.8 million, but biocides have a reverse side. In the 1950s, organouten compounds were discovered as biocides in the Netherlands. In the late 1960s, they were introduced into self-polishing paints. Tributyltin TBT was extraordinarily effective, service life up to 60 months. The side effect, TBT is an endocrine disruptor. It acted at concentrations in the nanogram per liter range. For comparison, 1 drop in an Olympic swimming pool is approximately 50 nanograms per liter. TBT induced imposax, masculinization of female reproductive organs in marine snails, at concentrations tens of times lower than that drop. At 3 to 5 nanograms per liter, sterilization of females reached critical levels. In Arcachon Bay, France, the crisis began in 1974. TBT disrupted oyster reproduction and calcification. Between 1977 and 1982, spat collection was practically zero. Production collapsed, followed by bankruptcies. Scientific documentation of the effects was published in the late 1970s. In 1982, France banned TBT on vessels under 25 meters. In 2001, the IMO adopted the AFS Anti-Fouling Systems Convention. It entered into force globally on the 17th of September 2008. Prohibition timeline, 1st January 2003. ban on application and reapplication of TBT for January 2008, complete removal of TBT from hulls or application of a barrier coating. TBT is banned globally by the IMO AFS Convention. Regional frameworks, OSPAR HELCOM, established assessment criteria below 0.1 nanogram per liter. The red line on a ship's hull is not tradition. It is an engineering compromise between biocidal efficacy, leaching rate, and ecological sustainability. The global anti-fouling coatings market, per analyst estimates, from $2 to $11 billion annually, depending on whether the segment includes only hull coatings for large vessels or all anti-fouling systems, platforms, docks, pipelines. The self-polishing segment dominates with a 38.5% share. Every layer of paint is the solution to a differential equation. The polymer degradation rate must synchronize with the fouling growth rate in a specific body of water. Too fast, the paint is exhausted in 18 months. Too slow, the hull is covered in barnacles within 6 months. This is not paint. It is a chemical reactor covering thousands of square meters submerged in an electrolyte at pH 8.1, operating 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, without maintenance. Subscribe for systems, not stories.